Here again, once again, we have Mike back from Greece or wherever he was over. He had a good time. We have Scott was here. He's got his 3 kids. He's having a good time. Scott is standing in for John this week. John is indisposed, I would say. And so what I want to do is, since our first take, I want to start looking at this team. And so you worry about the running game? No, a little bit.
Well, I just want to say right now that the depth seems to be an issue. I know that we have that one guy, the name that we can't remember from USC, who doesn't play because he's always got an owie. And then there's another guy named Wilson, I think.
Oh, maybe. Yes.
And he's decent, but he's sort of a just give Jacobs a breather. So
I think that last year we played Jacobs twice as much as we should have. I think he took a big beating last year, and so I think this year I'm worried that he hit the wall. As a running back, you're just not the player that you were when you were 27 or younger.
Yeah, and to bounce off what Mike said, everybody's talking about what is the weakness on this team. The Packers are going to the Super Bowl, greatest team ever, but I would say the glaring weakness would be if Jacobs goes down with any sort of injury. The depth at running back just isn't there.
All right. So I just wanted to talk about the defense. We have Halfway as our defensive coordinator for the second year. Everyone is buying into his plan, do we think? Do we miss any of the players that we lost over the summer?
It seems like it's clicking for the guys that have been there now. Quay Walker, Valentine, the guys on the D-line, they seem to be super decisive on every play. Like they know where they're going, and they know what they're doing. And then, of course, there's the guy, Micah somebody.
What about who's the guy who had all those interceptions last year?
Xavier McKinney.
Right.
He has zero interceptions so far. Are you worried about a slowing down of him?
That's a good question. And I recall that didn't he really get roasted in our exit playoff game
against the Eagles?
But
do you remember, Scott? I don't.
No, I don't remember. I don't recall him.
He's still a solid player, and we have a guy that's named after whiskey, Evan Williams.
Yes.
Well,
bourbon, yeah.
Bourbon, yeah. Not top shelf, but still solid.
Yeah. All right. I think the defense is for real. I don't know. I was at the first game. I saw the second game on TV. I don't remember the team being as strong as they've ever been, at least on the defensive side. I used to always be worried when we had to turn the ball over and kick the punt, whether we were going to be able to stop them, because it's always been bend and break, and give up the points and take forever. And even last year, they improved some. It still didn't seem like they're top 10. This year, holy crap, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
They are like tackling everybody. I thought against the Commanders, forget it. Once I hear rushing quarterback for the Packers, that's like kryptonite.
Just visions in my mind of Gary crashing down and Jaden Daniels running around the corner,
Who's the quarterback with the dogs that was for Atlanta, played for Atlanta?
Vic.
Michael Vick. I still have nightmares. It was like everyone was watching him run by them. He was so good. I just kind of figured that Daniels was the next guy.
Or remember Colin Kaepernick in some of those games.
Brutal.
He just shredded
That was a
us.
playoff game too, yeah. My biggest concern for the defense is I do appreciate a good defense. I just don't want them to be too good because I don't want to lose the first competent defensive coordinator we've had in probably a decade. If our defense keeps up this pace, I have a feeling he's going to get some looks for head coaching vacancies this offseason.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to the defensive coordinator just not being wanted by any other team.
Begging somebody to take him.
Yeah.
Please interview him for a head coach job.
Yeah.
Did you know he interviewed for the Jets job last year? Obviously, they made the right move. Worked out for them and for us. Okay, so this is something I've been working on feverishly for the last 3 weeks. Every day, I was putting through thoughts. I had things in my mind. I was going and out, finding the right pieces of information. Mike, do you remember where you were when the Packers signed Reggie White?
Yes, I do. I was at work. I heard somebody mention it at the lunch hour or someplace, and I was like, no way. He would never come to Green Bay.
That's pretty big. Where were you, Scott, when this happened?
What year did we sign Reggie White? Was it 95, 96?
I was in like 93.
93, so I would have been 2 years old. So I I do not recall the day he was signed, but
Oh,
speaking of 96, I mean, this is when I hit my, formative football loving age here. This is when I became, enthralled with the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, that's 5 years old. Is a really good year for becoming a starter Packer fan at that point.
Yep.
This year, I want to look at the players in the different positions and see, are we better or as good as we were back then? Because we knew that team waltzed to the Super Bowl, which is what we wanted this year. So here we go. So let's start off with the GM. Both have been on the job for a while. Actually, Ron Wolf was maybe his third or fourth year. Brian's been around for about 6 or 7 years now. So we should be able to tell which GM is the one that's actually making the team work.
boy, Ron got Favre and Reggie.
But he did get other players. What do you remember, Scott, from your 5 years old? Like,
I didn't get too deep into the successes or failures of the GM. Obviously, Reggie White and Brett Favre are big pickups, but I would have to go back and analyze his draft classes like we do for Goody over here.
would you do one or the other, or do a push on this at this point?
For me, I mean, I would say I know that we beat up Goody's early draft classes and how they have been just garbage. I don't know if Ron Wolf has that same sort of garbage kind of draft classes, but also Gutekunst is taking over a team that's in success. Ron Wolf, as far as I know, the 80s were a rough time to be a Packers fan. So for him to basically rebuild a championship franchise, I would give it to Ron Wolf.
There you go. Mike, how do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with Scott.
I would not have maybe thought to put it that way, but now that he mentioned it, it's like, yep, Ron Wolf had an empty shopping cart, and Brian had a couple things already in there. So Ron Wolf wins round one. What about head coach?
Could you find a worse photo of Matt?
Or a better picture of Mike. I mean, look at how slim that guy is.
Yeah.
I wanted to get them early in their careers. So what would you say? Who would you do a push on this? I'll pick one or the other. I mean, Matt has been winning, but he, of course, had a team, even jumping off what Scott said before about Ron Wolf. Mike Holmgren had an empty shopping cart.
My first thought is Holmgren. But then when I think about the fact that LaFlop is so in tune with the modern player because of his age, he understands culturally like where these guys are coming from. And Holmgren, even though he was, I don't know, probably 35, late 30s when he came to the Pack, he was already representing an era that was fading fast. Being able to motivate players, etc. I know you're not going to like to hear this, Rob, but I think LaFlop is probably pretty good at it.
Scott, what do you think?
I don't know how LaFlop is going to rip my heart out like Mike Holmgren did leaving for Seattle. So I think the jury's still out on his tenure with the Packers. But I think that if you look at Mike Holmgren and what he did with the Packers and the coaches that he surrounded himself with, like his coaching tree, you got Andy Reid and John Gruden, and like they've got that picture of them on the stairs. So I would give it to Mike Holmgren.
There are a lot of folks who have said that if Holmgren had stayed, it would have been like an Andy Reid, Kansas City 5-year run, maybe 6 of domination. Who knows?
You kind of think that maybe that makes Matt a better coach because he was able to still put together a good winning team for every year that he's played.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It could hurt Mike that he had such good coaches surrounding himself with. LaFleur is doing this, this success in spite of his defensive coordinator,
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So do we have a winner?
Holmgren.
I'm good with Holmgren.
All right.
I would like to see LaFleur win something.
Good point.
Okay, here we go. Go for the QBs.
Ooh. Well, at this point in his career, Jordan Love, his positives are that he isn't panicky. He's steady. But the thing about Favre was if you were down 20 points at the start of the third, well, even the fourth quarter, you would say to yourself, we got a chance because he's going to just whip it and hit somebody. But that piece I don't really see with Love, and I don't know that we ever will see it. It's kind of a trade-off for him being a steady Eddie kind of guy.
Scott, what do you think?
I think that being the age I was watching Brett Favre was the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers were Brett Favre. He was fun to watch. He was energetic, loved the game. Separate the art from the artist kind of stuff. His post career. I mean, he loved to play football. It was fun to watch him. And I do live in Illinois now, but I don't see many people dressing up as Jordan Love for Halloween. Like, I know I dressed up as Brett Favre. I had a Ford jersey with the shoulder pads and the Green Bay helmet, but my kid's not wearing a Jordan Love jersey. I think Brett Favre was the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think Jordan Love is the kind of quarterback that would cause you to rebuild the Packer Hall of Fame.
I couldn't agree more.
He drove his old Chevy Blazer to practice every day for the first few years.
Okay, Dorsey Levens versus Josh Jacobs.
Ooh, wow.
Mike, do you have a thought on this one?
My first thought is Levens was a fairly good receiving threat. Like little safety valve plays that looked like they'd be 8 yards would turn into 20 yards with him.
Scott, do you have a thought on this one?
I don't know much about his past, but Dorsey Levens wasn't a hired mercenary, right? He was a Packer through and through, whereas Josh Jacobs is a hired gun. We need a better running back, so we're going to bring in this guy from the outside. He's not a Packer. He's just somebody to get us over the hump, per se.
Right.
Last year, though, I cannot say enough about how important he was. So if he turns into that guy again, I would say Josh Jacobs might win this from me. I don't see it yet. Mike, do you have a thought on this one?
I think Jacobs is a better pure runner. I don't know.
Josh?
Toss up.
Scott, do you pick one?
I don't mean to be a disservice to my generation, but I think it's Dorsey Levens. I'm a fan of the homegrown guy.
Not the hired gun?
Yeah.
The guy that went through the system.
I also like guys who do the Lambeau leap. Culture is important around here. You score a touchdown, you jump in the stands.
Does Jacobs not do that?
He does not.
Ah.
He doesn't understand the culture.
Wow.
So he's not even embracing anything Green Bay. He's just taking the check and going home. Here we go.
Yeah. Nice slide.
Mike, what do you think of this?
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Wow.
Scott?
Has Catch 22 made a catch?
Yes.
Does he have a? He does? Okay.
He had like a 20-yard catch in the last game, right, Rob? Am I correct in that? Or was it in the first game?
I think this is helping me vote.
Yeah.
He looked good in practice.
I want to just say, I really like Romeo. I know he's kind of a head case. Most receivers are. But Antonio Freeman beats him easily. And Andre Rison, with all of his body of work, I think it was with the Bills before he came to Green Bay as a mercenary, also a head case, proven record versus Catch 22, who has incredible upside. I mean, you could just see that he has got what it takes.
When we got Andre Rison, that was pretty exciting. It was kind of a mid-season Ron Wolf move. Romeo Doubts, I don't know if he's going to even be here next year.
Dobbs is getting interest from other people around the NFL.
Wow.
So, Mike, do you have a pick?
Old school.
Same with you, Scott, I presume?
I mean, I don't know much about Andre Rison, but I mean, I'd give it to the new guys based on potential.
Okay. All right. Keith Jackson, Mark Chmura.
Ooh, hot tub Chimura.
What do we think about this one?
I think if you put Tucker Kraft in with Romeo Dobbs, I think that's a better matchup than the Andre Rison Antonio Freeman. If anything, Trips is holding Kraft back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, I don't know if you guys know the Pack Arena. Is he the Jackson in the Pack Arena?
Ooh.
Brett and a Brooks and an Edgar and a Reggie, Jackson and Chmura.
I think it is. Yeah.
So it did register with my mind, but you're telling me a guy who was playing in Miami didn't want to go to Green Bay? No way. That's crazy.
I'm going to say, yeah, I mean, if we're talking like Jackson and Chmura in whatever year this would have been, 96 versus maybe Jackson in 90, because he was still good. He was still good with the Packers, but he was kind of a one-trick pony.
Tucker Kraft, if he plays every game like he played this last week, it's going to be crap and must trips. Where are we at? Old school, new school?
I'm going with Tucker, even with the liability of must trips versus those old dudes.
Me too, as well. I'm going Tucker by himself over a guy who didn't want to play here. So
yeah, okay. Tucker's he's going to be a star.
Okay, we got another one here. This is, of course, the one that everyone's talking about.
So the nachos, let's talk about that. Was that before the trade?
Yes.
His sweater has green and gold plus blue and silver, which means he's a Manchurian candidate. He's stealth. He's really still with Cowboys. Reggie, I'm just going to say Reggie, and then I'm done.
Reggie White picked the Packers.
Yes, after God told him to do so.
Nachos went where his agent told him he was going. Scott, what's your thought on this?
100% Reggie White. Micah Parsons, is shoved down our throat all week one, and he gets 1 sack. So I know he impacts the defense in different ways, but so did Reggie White, and he got sacks. So I'll go Reggie White.
All right. That was too easy, huh? Here we go. Desmond Howard versus Keyshawn Nixon.
Your bias is so obvious, Rob, with your slide photos.
I just picked the first slide that I saw, honestly. Sure. So, Mike, what do you think about this?
It's actually harder than it looks because Desmond Howard, although he didn't contribute to anything other than special teams, was like a field tilter. Is that what they call it? Nixon, who I don't really like because I just feel like he's a classic loudmouth, over-talking, over-hyping himself kind of DB guy. Same with wide receivers. They have this sort of personality trait. He's been solid, He's had some pretty big gaffes, but it feels like Desmond Howard was a Packer for like 10 minutes and then he was gone.
Scott.
I can't believe you're going to make me take a kick returner here. I hate the kicking game. It has no place in football. Stop returning kicks. Only bad things can happen when you return a kick. I guess if you're going to make me pick Desmond Howard because he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, but stop returning kicks.
This is the Keyshawn Nixon fumble in the Eagles game that
was recovered by Green Bay.
Oh wow, that's true. Okay, I have one more. Former Badger Jeff Dallenbach versus Matt Orzech.
Your long snapper obsession continues.
How many times did you worry about the long snap in '96, Mike?
Boy, never. And look at those arms. He could just hand it to the punter.
Scott, what's your thought on this?
I haven't spent too much time thinking about long snappers. Undervalued position, I guess I would say. Don't remember the long snapper from '96. So I guess if you're an offensive lineman, the saying goes that when you don't hear your name, it's a good thing. So maybe the fact that I don't remember him might be on positive.
What about Matt? Look at those arms. He's got you could probably draw some blood. So you have to say he's pretty much built for this job.
I think he looks a little light of frame, personally.
So you have no Badger affinity to Jeff Dallenbach? Early 90s.
That's enough for me. I'll go with Jeff.
Were the Badgers good in the 80s?
Well,
no.
There you go. I'm going to go new school.
All right. So there you go. 96 versus 2025. Do you have a winner? Mike, you would say?
96.
96. Scott, you would say?
96, and it wasn't very close.
We didn't even talk about William Henderson. We didn't talk about any of the linebackers. We didn't talk about
Nick Collins.
Nick Collins was there. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
There's other players I could have.
Robert Brooks.
The quarterback. We have Jim McMahon, another Super Bowl winning quarterback. So overall, I just want to say, let's just kind of tap the brakes a little bit. Let's just kind of see where we go with this. And just remember that 1996 was a different team. It kind of stood out. So that's that. Okay, this is it. Last slide. Packers Browns. Is this a trap game for the Packers?
So I'll jump in here. I would say that yes, I am a little bit concerned about this game. Coming into the season, nobody thought the Packers were good. Nobody expected this team to go anywhere. All of a sudden, 2 weeks in, we're right up there with the Eagles. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. I think the first 2 weeks have been great. It's been great to see the defense flying around, playing good football. I'm a little bit concerned that once we go up by 14, we like to take our foot off the gas. I think it's going to bite us at some point, and I think that this game, we might not lose, but I think it's going to be like a real wake-up call that maybe this team isn't as complete or put together at this point in the season.
Yeah. Mike?
I think that's right. It's a road game. they're going to be like, it's fun being out of town. We've been in Green Bay all this time. They're going to be maybe a little too loose. And the Browns defense is still intense. I mean,
Yeah.
they got Miles. We've got a key player hurt, Zach Tom, right? He's not likely to start. So, yeah, I think it'll be closer than a lot of the bandwagon fans think.
Yeah, I want to hope that we're wrong. I want the Packers to win by 3 touchdowns or more. I want the defense to look just like they've always looked the last 2 games, and I think they have a chance to do that. I think they could if they continue to do what they're doing. They can do it. It's very likely Jordan Love might throw that interception that everyone's waiting on, so that could happen this game. So, and injuries again. We're one Josh Jacobs running play away from having a big hole in that running game. So, all right.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This is awesome. Mike, nice to see you again.
Likewise.
And Scott, rock on. You're there, right there when we need you. Way to step in. You know?
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a blast.
All right. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye, guys.